Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and yes, it is another edition of the Movie Phantom's Horror Review. I am joined by my lovely girlfriend, Maya. You don't even say hi, you're just like, I love you. Mwah. And we got two more reviews for you coming up. Starting off, we have An American Werewolf in London. Classic. And we got, I don't own it, Cube 2, Hypercube, which is probably more sci-fi, but fuck it, it's my show. And let me just start off by saying, anybody out there, the 7 people who watch the show, be careful driving, dude. Literally, it's fucking crazy out there. Like, it's in the area I'm at, Jesus Christ, fucking retarded. Like, I'm literally, I work out of town, so it's like a 25-minute drive anyways. It took me almost an hour and, what do you say, 10 minutes maybe? Something like that. It took me forever to get home. That's just how bad the roads were. They were icy and it was fucked up. So anybody out there driving around, be careful. That's all I'm saying. So let's get to our top 3, shall we? Let's get to the show. The top 3. We got, now last week I asked the question. I told everybody I wanted to give me your top 3 movies that were based on TV shows. And I threw out movies that were based on TV shows, not the other way around. Like the example I used was MASH, which was initially a movie and then turned into a TV series. I wanted the opposite. I wanted TV shows that spawned a movie. And we got like 5 fucking responses. That's insane. So we'll hit it up first. We got Horror House hit us up first and said that number 3, Dad's Army, which I've never seen. Number 2, another one I haven't seen either, was Steptoe and Son. Haven't seen that one either. Number 1, just lumped them all together, all the Star Trek films. I've seen a few of them. I've seen 1 and 2, 5, maybe 6, and then I saw the remake, which I fucking love the remake. That was awesome. I don't know. I thought the original part 1 was just really slow. 2, which it was overhyped for me because everybody's like, this is the greatest Star Trek movie ever, and it was alright. It wasn't too bad. I enjoyed 5. I don't think I did see 6. I think 5 was the one I saw, and I did enjoy it. And then of course the remake, which is freaking awesome. Don't get those confused now. Don't show them. This is later on. So yeah, thank you, Horror House. I appreciate it. Andrew Beaver hit us up, and he said at number 3, his pick was South Park. Bigger, longer, and uncut. Bam. Love it. Love that movie. That's a movie that initially, and 13th Wolfman mentioned this in his, I'm kind of giving away some of the answers later on, but he said that he had a friend who just didn't like it because it was a musical, and I have a friend who, same way. I mean, he loves South Park the show, fucking, it's like his favorite show, period. Hated the movie because it was, in fact, a musical. I was the same way. When I first watched it, I did not care for it. I thought it was just, I was like, oh, really? And every time, you can always tell her about to hit a musical number, I'm just like, oh, fuck. And then, of course, I bought it dirt cheap, recently, and I think I've watched it at least 70 times. I mean, not even exaggerating. I'm exaggerating a bit. Easily 20 times, though. Like, literally, I just pop it in all the time and just fucking watch it. Love it. It's fucking hilarious. And the music, I love the music. Like, I actually love the music in it, so. His number 2 was Mission Impossible, which it's been so long since I've even seen. I've only seen the first 2, and it's been so long that I really couldn't even tell you either one of them, but, I remember if you would ask me then, I was like, yeah, I like this, alright. I like 2 better because I just like the action in it more. But I need to watch it again because Brian De Palma did the first one. I'm a big De Palma fan, so. And then number 1, it was the Star Trek remake, or prequel, depending on how you look at it, I suppose. But the reboot, if you will, which like I said earlier, loved it, so. Thomas Beaver hit us up and said at number 3, his pick was Speed Racer. And that was a movie, too, that I honestly thought was going to be shit. Like, I just did not have any interest in it. But I had 2 little cousins that wanted to watch it. Took them there, and they fucking, I loved it. Like, I liked it more than they did. Like, they were just kind of like, ugh. Sure, it's flashy lights and colorful, but, I liked it. I thought it was just a fun movie to watch, so. His number 2, I fucking love this movie. Just bought it recently, and this is another one I've just been tearing up. 21 Jump Street. Fucking brilliant. That's just, like, one of the best comedies, recent years. Like literally, I've been tearing it up hardcore. And his number one, I didn't even know was based on a TV series. And then like as soon as like I jotted his down, I have a movie catalog I was going through, and sure enough, the box set for the TV series popped up. The Fugitive, which I love the movie Fugitive. Harrison Ford, awesome stuff. Was it Harrison Ford or Tommy Lee Jones, or was it both? It's been a while since I've seen it. Anyways, Fugitive, good stuff right there. So thank you, Thomas Beaver. 13th Wolfman, he hit me up at his 3. He said at number 3, the A-Team, which I'm just not a big Liam Neeson fan. I'll tell you about it, I'm not a big Taken fan, so I just kind of frown upon Liam Neeson in general. If he's not training Batman, I just don't give a shit. But yeah, I just haven't had a chance to see it. But I've heard good. Like everybody I've talked to who's watched it, they liked it. So I'll probably get a chance later down the road. His number 2 was also South Park. He threw South Park in there. His number 1 was the Simpsons movie, which is a number I need to rewatch because I think I just, like you said, it was like, I forget. I think that when the movie came out, it was like 20 years in the making. Maybe like they had like 19 seasons. I can't remember now.
Never seen it.
The movie.
Yeah.
It's one of, like I said, it was so, cause I was just like, oh, this is gonna be the most epic thing ever. And then you watch it, it's just like, wow, they just took an episode of Simpsons and stretched it out to like 90 minutes. And I remember walking away disappointed, but I feel like I had so much hype behind it. I would love to see it again, just so no one, almost like South Park the movie, where I just know, like, okay, it's don't overhype it, just boom. So thank you. 13th Wolfman. And Ghostface Kid, 101 hit us up, and he said number 3, he also said the Simpsons movie as well. His number 2 was Twilight Zone the movie, which we reviewed last week. And his number 1 was South Park. Everybody's loving South Park. It's a great fucking movie, so there you guys go. I appreciate it. So all 5 of you guys, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. Now this week, what got me kind of thinking about this one is, both my movies kind of apply to this top 3. I'm asking for your top 3 most disappointing sequels. Because a lot of people hate the sequel to American Werewolf in London, which was American Werewolf in Paris. I, for one, like it. I think it's awesome. But a lot of people hate it. And then, of course, Cube 2. Everybody was real disappointed by that. Now, when I say disappointing sequels, I don't mean sequels that you just thought sucked or whatever. Like, that can just be an easy layup. Disappointing, I mean that you were literally disappointed. Like, you loved the first movie so much. Or maybe you love the trilogy or whatever, the series, you're just like, every movie's been a fucking home run, and then this one comes on, you're excited for it. You actually want to see it, and it was disappointing. Those are the movies I'm asking for. Like the ones that you truly were just like, I can't wait to see this, and then, oh shit. Horror, I should specify horror movies. Because I'm sure everybody would just throw in like Crystal Skulls, because we just like want to skull fuck that movie. Which I didn't mind. But once again, I'm not a big Indiana Jones guy. Like, I like the movies. I can care less like what they're. The next movie can literally just be him flying around the fucking spaceship with the aliens. I don't give a shit. Like, it's not Hollow or Sacred Ground for me, so I just don't give a fuck. But no, top 3 disappointing horror sequels. And my list, I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard to narrow it down to 3 because like some of them, I'll just name some honorable mentions real quick. Like the Pet Sematary 2 was one of them, and I wasn't really. I liked that movie somewhat because when I was younger. The first one scared the shit out of me, and I love being scared. So I was like, all right, here we go, part 2. It's gonna scare the shit out of me again, and it just totally didn't. It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't great either.
The first one is scary.
I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you in your face, angel or not. I'll punch you there. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Well, when I was a kid, I was freaked out by Pet Sematary. Another one would be I was thinking about it's anything like that. I kind of like Pet Sematary 2, so that's why I didn't put it on the list. I initially had Exorcist 2, The Heretic, but like I remember hearing that movie sucked going into it, and then it did suck. So I wasn't really disappointed by it, so I took that one. So once again, it's kind of hard to like what was disappointing to me. I remember Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I just did not care for, but I wasn't disappointed because when I initially had first three on a VHS I borrowed from my uncle, and really had no preconception of who Freddy was. I mean, it's like my first break into it. And I liked the first one, so but I was just like, alright, I guess I kind of was disappointed, but it wasn't to like that level of like, hypeness that, So, here they are, my top 3 most disappointing horror sequels. Number 3, I'm going to say Urban Legend 2, The Final Cut. That was during the big teen slasher whodunit boom. The late 90s. early 2000s, and I enjoyed the first Urban Legends. Like, some people were like, well, it's so good it's bad, or whatever the case may be. You're kind of off the camera there, sweetie. Let me tilt this real quick. There we go. Camera's he's cut in half. That's why I have the screen flip this way so I can direct as I'm doing the show. No, I like the first Urban Legend. I think it was a fun movie to watch. Was it breaking new horror ground? No, but it was a cool concept, I like the idea. So I was actually excited for part 2, and I remember, and I was still in high school, I think, when that came out. So we rented it, and I was just really like, what the fuck, really? I'm really against, like, especially slash movies when they're using guns. That just bugs me. That kind of bugged me at the end of the Scream series, because it seems like they always just bust a gun out, at the end. But those are so well written and great in all other areas that you just kind of forget that. But in this one, they were using the gun. I'm like, fuck this, I'm done. I just didn't care for Urban Legend 2, just wasn't a fan. Now, typically, in my mind, I was trying to use the initial part 2s, but this next one, I think the trilogy was great, and then they recently came out with part 4, and I know it was a huge smash. Everybody fucking loved it. But not this guy. Like, I just thought it was fucking horrible. Scream 4. Like, it was definitely a movie that was made for other people, not me. Like, it just shows that I'm older, I guess. Like, it's definitely, I don't know. I wouldn't get. And I know it's like everybody loved it. Like, it literally has like no bad reviews. But I just could not. I couldn't get into it. I just didn't think it was that good. This did not, in my opinion, hold up to the other 3 at all. So, and then for me, going a little old school here. I'm going fucking old school. House of Frankenstein. Bam! Holy shit! He went back to the 40s on this one. And this is my number 1 most disappointing sequels, and I'll tell you why. I go through phases. I'll hit up like different studio horror or whatever. And I want to say with the Universal movies, early on I maybe caught a couple of them. And I couldn't even tell you now which ones I saw. Because I've seen, like, a lot of those have been retold a million times. So I caught, like, the remakes or whatever later down the road. But I didn't really watch the originals because I was like, I already know what happens. And most people were just like, well, yeah, I mean, it's basically the same shit. Just, updated or whatever. So when I started getting into older horror movies, I was, checking them out. And they were really good. Excuse me. I won't lie to you, the pacing on some of them are kind of slow, but I dig old movies, and I love those feel, like the classic gothic feel of a lot of those movies. I have a TV, I mentioned this before, I have a TV series that's called like the 100 Years of Horror, and it's just like every episode breaks down whatever. And I remember seeing on a trailer, they were doing a trailer, and it was for House of Frankenstein. And they was really big on it, like, for the first time ever, 5 of Universal's monsters, on the screen at once. And of course, it wasn't really 5 monsters. It was 3 monsters, and then the other 2 they just kind of threw in there. But it was like, they were like Dracula, the monster, which is Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, the mad scientist, which is played by Boris Karloff, and then the Hunchback. And I'm like, holy shit. So I'm like, this is going, and I mean, in my mind, like, when it comes to versus movies, I don't give a fuck about story. Everybody's just like, no, I wanted to see him fucking a slam fucking fest, like a fucking smackdown. I want to see him fucking. So I was like, 5 motherfuckers. We're gonna have like a 5-way dance. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be a battle royale of fucking epic proportion. I was wanting that. Like, I was wanting just like all 5 of them just like fuck it, and they just start getting into it. That would have been an awesome movie to me. So I get the box set. I forget which box set. I'm guessing that'd be part of the Frankenstein box set. I think House of Dracula, obviously, with the Dracula box set. I'm an idiot. Anyways, but when I had them all, I was wanting to watch them in the order they came out, because I didn't want to like jump around on these. So after watching the Frankenstein movies up to that point, the Draculas, and I did not watch the Wolfman at that point. I didn't have that box set at the time. And I've yet to see Frankenstein versus Wolfman, which came out before those. But I saw the other ones, and I'm like, alright, here we go. I remember the trailer, here it is, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. And I was just so, because you never get like all 5 of them together at once. And like, Dracula's only in it for a few moments, and then he like mysteriously dies. Like, he like rolls up a hill and goes into another coffin. I don't know. It's so fucking, and you're just like, what? He's not fighting shit. And it's just like, he's out. Like, he's in, he's out, he's gone. And I don't know. There's a whole thing, but you never really see them all get together. It's always like there's separate stories going on, and I don't know. And I just remember literally being let down. Like, God damn, really? Now, like other movies, maybe I'll watch it again later down the road. I'll be a little, more forgiving. Because once again, like, that initial watch, though, that's why I was wanting this. Because you get that more or less in House of Dracula. House of Dracula. It seems like it was just a better movie all around. And it was just, I don't know, it seemed like you had a little more fights going on. This one, I was just really wanting, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know Boris Karloff was getting older at that point, but I didn't give a fuck. I want to see him, like, throw an elbow in there or something. I don't know. He creates, like, another, anyways, I was wanting more out of it, and I was disappointed. But that was just me personally, so. What about you, sweetie? Any sequels horror movie sequels that were really just disappointing? No? Not at all? Another honorable mention that I kind of left out of this. In fact, this one may actually take the cake. Or I'm not take the cake, but like it'd be up there. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna drop Urban Legend. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm dropping Urban Legend from 3. I'm putting Lost Boys, The Lost Tribe, or whatever Part 2 was of Lost Boys. That was just fucking gay. And I don't want to offend the homosexual community out there, but it was a gay fucking movie. Like, it sucked so much dick. I was just like, God damn, this is horrible. I'm a huge Lost Boys fan. Like that was like my holy grail of vampire movies for the longest time. Like, it's bumped down now, not because of the sequels. I mean, just because I've seen other better ones on top of it. But for a long time, it was like my favorite childhood vampire movie. I loved it. And so when I found out they're making a Part 2, and initially I remember they said like the Frog Brothers were gonna be back, and I was like, yeah. And it was so fucking bad. And I'm like, why I couldn't get like Haim in a better role? I'm guessing his drug abuse was probably the contributing factor. Jason Patrick wouldn't show back. I'm like, really? What are you really doing, Jason? What are you really doing right now? You ain't doing shit. So I don't know, it was just a poor fucking. I don't know. It felt like if they could have just had a good story and maybe held out a little bit and put a little more money into it, could have been a good movie. But it sucked. Yeah, I'll take Urban Legend now and put Lost Boys in there. In fact, I'll probably put Scream at number 3, Lost Boys 2 at number 2, and then of course House of Frankenstein. So. And it's very close to actually taking House of Frankenstein back to 2. It don't matter. But yeah, there we go. So I want to know what your guys' top 3 most disappointing horror, like personally disappointing horror, sequels are. Of course, you guys know there are numerous ways to hit me up. Of course, you can do it via Facebook. My fan friends over on Facebook. People are starting to do that now. I really like that. Of course, personal messages. People are doing that too. That's awesome. Video response. You can do that. I'm going to get out of the way right now. Suck it. You can, you're so mean to me. Abuse, and you guys are catching it. If you do a video response, though, take the comment. Either give me a personal message, leave or the link and leave it down below. Speaking of down below, you can leave that question right down there. What are you looking at, weirdo? Leave a comment down below.
Down there.
Hey, this is a family-oriented show. Don't be doing that, you're weirdo.
You're weirdo.
And then, moviefam7@gmail.com. I think in the entire history of this show, only one person has actually used the moviefam7@gmail.com to give me the top 3. Never again. No one's ever done it again. Really. So, but yeah, you guys want to throw them at me? I'd appreciate it. I want to thank everybody once again who has participated this week. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Now, I believe it was last week or week before last, we were talking about, the month of December, the last month of the year, there was just no horror movies coming out. Well, one snuck in on us this week, actually playing right now. I'm pretty sure it's limited release though, so, only the big cities probably got it. Little movie called The Last Days on Mars, in which basically this space crew is on Mars, I guess just doing their shit, and anyways, as they're about to leave, people become infected with something, and yeah, some shit hits the fan. When I saw the trailer, it has Liv Shriver, fucking dude from Scream, and I'm gonna butcher this dude's name too, Eli Cotes, fucking Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's done so much other work, but to me, he's just Casey Jones. Anyways, they're the only two I actually recognize from the crew, stars. Anyway, but they're astronaut. And when I saw the trailer initially, my initial thoughts were it's a cross between fucking Alien and The Thing. And to me, this looked really bad. I was like, really? This just looks like shit. And it was just very, I don't know, the trailer didn't really show much, but but once again, if you ever see a trailer, check it out. It does look exactly like Alien and The Thing kind of merged together, but except we're on Mars. And I don't know, I just personally wasn't feeling it. However, I've been reading some reviews, like little blurbs, and they're saying like it's actually really pretty good. Like I'm hearing some good things about it. They're saying it's actually like a smart science fiction movie. Which I mean, sci-fi horror, I guess, but they said science fiction. But you know, you can tell it's definitely got some horror elements to it. And yeah, I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious now, so I may check it out. But once again, I mean, the trailer, yeah, it was like basically like these two people, like on the last day, maybe at the last day, these two people decide they're going to go out and check some shit out real quick, and they ain't telling anybody why. They're like on a secret mission or whatever. And so when they go out, they come back, and of course they're clearly infected with something, and they're like, don't let them in, but they let them in. And then of course from there, shit hits the fan. Once again, I thought the trailer was horrible, but I'm hearing good things, so I don't know, maybe I'll check it out. So,
Comments.
Move on to comments. You're just trying to row the show wrong, huh? You're like, I'm tired of this. Let's get the show going. Quick. Trying to crank it out. Mwah. So yes, that's coming out this week, so check it out if you want. And moving right along, we're going to comments. Got a few comments here. Up first, we got Whorehouse asked us what was our top 3 favorite movies, and they didn't specify. She didn't specify horror, or he didn't specify. Was this the guy or girl? I think this is the girl. Whorehouse. Was it the girl?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we said dude last time. She's like, no, girl. Either way, I'm sorry. Fam's horrible. I think it's the girl. What's our favorite top 3 movies, and they didn't specify whether or not it was horror or not. So I'm just kind of going overall. For me, I'm saying at number 3, my number 3 would be Halloween easily. That's my number 1 horror movie of all time, and it's definitely my top 3 movie of all time. Like, I just love that movie, everything about it. You guys know that by now. So, for me, number 2 is Fight Club. I fucking love Fight Club. Like, I think it's just it's brilliant on every fucking level. The writing, the acting, the way it makes me feel when I watch it, I just fucking love it. It's just great. That twist fucking blew me away when I first watched it. I literally came my pants. It was a mess, and I was a lot younger then, so it was a lot more cum that just plastered inside my pants, and it was disgusting. It was just, you're shaking your head. I agree. It was disgusting. I had to change my pants, towel off, and then put a new fresh pair of pants on, and then there's still some drippage even after that. It's bad. Awesome fucking movie. Love it. Just I can't say enough about it. And then Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, my number 1 movie of all time. I mean, I can't even. That movie is just perfect. It is literally. They should literally in a museum somewhere just have a screen playing that movie 24/7 on loop, and just have a frame around the picture screen. It's a masterpiece. It's a piece of art. It's brilliant. I can't say much about it. I mean, it's perfect. So, what about you, sweetie? Top 3 movies.
Number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, you did like a top something on your show before, and you never mentioned Christmas shoes.
Because I forgot about Christmas shoes.
Forever Christmas shoes.
Okay. Number 2, The Sound of Music.
I've never seen it. I can't say nothing about that.
I want it for Christmas.
You ain't getting it.
Yeah. Number 1, Blood In, Blood Out.
So I haven't seen that. She ordered it, and then like the DVD, it went to her mom's house, and then the DVD disappeared while we were there, and then reappeared after we left. So
Yeah.
I want to see it though. We went to the Days of the Dead. Danny Trejo, who has a small part in the movie, he talked about that like 2 or 3 times. Like every time it came up during his Q&A. So now that he's talking about it, I'm like, I definitely want to see it now. So thank you, Whorehouse. Appreciate it. Up next, Thomas Beaver asked me my top 3 Hot Pocket flavors. Oh man, love it. That's the kind of question I like right there. You know.
Don't write mine down.
You write yours down?
Yeah.
That's awesome. We definitely. Sorry,
Top
indigestion.
3?
Top 3 Hot Pocket flavors. For me, at number 3, this is one I don't see very often. At least the Walmart in my town does not carry this anymore. The chicken quesadilla Hot Pocket. Dude, that's fucking tops right there. I used to tear that shit up all the time. And I haven't seen it in a while. I mean, I'm sure it's still out there. I can't imagine them like discontinuing that. That was just brilliant. Number 2, I'm going to say the pepperoni pizza Hot Pocket. I'm not gonna lie, like, at this age, I'm 28 years old, literally at this age, I still have, like, the taste buds of, like, a 10-year-old boy, like, literally, like, I'll try anything. Like, you know, you're like, try this is like crocodile soup. I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'll throw some crackers in, I'll eat it. if it's not good, I won't come back. That's just it. I'll try anything once, but I may not come back to it. And I literally have the taste buds like a kid. And my number one is hot ham and cheese. Just bam. Love it. Good stuff right there. What about you, Sweet? What did you come up with?
Pepperoni. It's number 3.
Number 3, pepperoni pizza. Damn good.
2, Philly steak and cheese.
See, I love like the cheese sauce and the Philly steak and cheese. I love the fucking steak. I hate they put onions in it. Every goddamn
Onions
time.
are yummy.
They are not. They're gross. Disgusting.
The number 1, chicken, broccoli, and cheese.
That wasn't bad. Now I had that before. That was really good. So can't go wrong with that. So thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. That's awesome. And finally, we got a series of questions from our good friend, the Ghostface Kid 101. His first question was directed straight at you. And I'm not going to lie, I want to hear a good answer for this. He asked you, why do you review the movies on this show with a one-word response or sometimes just a sound? Why is that?
I really don't know.
You don't know?
No.
That's
I'm much of a talker.
This is... you're out of the shell now. Like now, I know you do talk a lot more. As opposed to when you first was on the show. You've been on the show for now. How long? When did you first start doing it? Beginning of the year, maybe. It was before you moved in. I know that we had you on the show before you moved in.
Yeah.
So you've been almost a year. I'd say almost a year. We're getting close to maybe a year. And you still just don't. You can. Like I just love running my mouth. That's why I can go on these long-winded rants. But just don't know why. It's weird because on her show, Maya's Pretty Little Reviews, she does like these summaries of the show. She does like, Pretty Little Liars, Ravenswood, The Fosters, among others. But what she does is she writes down, like as she's watching them, like notes about the movie or the shows, right? So when she does the reviews of the show, she just tells you what happened on the show. And that's it. And then I come out and I'll be like, well, what do you think of it? How you feel that? And then she's like, I liked it. That's it. That's her review. Like her reviews have always just been short. It's the same thing. Like literally, I'll leave. Like when I go to work, I leave DVDs for them. Here, watch this. I give her like a homework assignment every day. That's kind of Nazi I am. Like you don't enjoy your day. You watch movies. If I have kids,
watch a silent movie.
I make her watch anything. I'm just like, watch this shit. Silent movie. I don't give a shit. You watch it. And anyway, like if I ever have kids, same thing. Like, I'm gonna be like, no, put your homework away. You're watching movies right now. Well, go out and play. No, you ain't gonna play. You're watching movies. Just watch this. I'm gonna cram movies down their face until they develop a good taste. And yeah, same thing. I'll come home and be like, well, what do you think about this? That's it. That's how she reviews them. So I wish I could break her from it, but she can't. Like she's set in her reviewing ways right now. So all right. The next question he asked is if we were psychotic redneck. I'm guessing serial killers. I don't know why we wouldn't be serial killers. We're just psychotic rednecks. And we were to wear like a mask. What kind of mask would it be? Would it be made out of human flesh, a la Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Or would it be made out of animals, like the animal face, or I guess even the animal fur or whatever? And he's mentioned, I think it's Madison County is what you mentioned there. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go human face. I'm going to go... I'd probably do the face on a face, though, like Otis did in Devil's Rejects. And he also did it in House of Thousand Corpses. So I'd probably go that route. I think that looks creepier than just like a bunch of skins sewn together. Like, that looks creepy, too, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay that, like, oh, that ain't shit. But definitely the face on a face. Because it just seems like, I don't know, it's just weird to see someone else's face that you know is not really mine. What about you, Sweetie? What did you do? Animal face or human face?
I would get that little plaster stuff you put in your face.
That's not the question, though. The question is humans.
I'm getting there.
All right.
Yeah, that plaster face.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have Allison's face.
Oh, from
Yeah.
So you're gonna kill the actress who portrays Alice, and then put her face.
Yeah.
That is horrible. And the actress who's playing Allison, don't let this person near you. Like, she ever sees you try to get an autograph, she's gonna try to kill you and take your face. Apparently, you're evil. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna kill those random hobos and shit, but you're going after a star. That's stalker. They got security guards and shit. They don't play around with that. All right, up next it is: would you rather super glue one eyelid shut or sew your mouth shut? Now the kicker is that you can immediately go to the hospital and get taken care of, but it's just the pain you got to endure there. What about you, Sweetie?
I'll sew my mouth shut.
Sew your mouth shut?
Yeah, and then I cut it with scissors.
I'm gonna let the doctors worry about that. Like, I'm afraid. I guess I would cut it. I guess yeah, you can. I could probably cut it. Cause that would suck. I'm gonna go the same route. I feel like, although I don't super glue. I feel like they're both gonna suck. Cause that's a needle going in and then pulling that string through and then going up the other. I know it's horrible.
Like
it just goes over and over, and they gotta sew it shut. It ain't gonna be a sloppy. They're gonna literally like put a bunch of fucking thing through there. However, I feel like yes, that's gonna suck for the half hour or so it's gonna take to do that. I feel like that's gonna be an easier surgery or doctor visit there. Like they'll just snip it, take it out. Hope I get some pain pills, and we'll be good to go. I got my mouth will be a little fucked up after that. But yeah, I feel like that as opposed to super glue, because I feel like the super glue on the eye shut. I'm not sure if like the fumes or if even that contacts your eye if you go blind. And now like get it done, you got like I don't know. I feel like you won't literally lose this when you get the mouth sewn shut. Whereas you could lose eyesight, possibly. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking chance that. Like the eyes I don't fuck with, so I'll sew my mouth shut. Up next we got what movie house would we live in? And mine's just real simple, the Amityville Horror House. Yeah. Just the real one. I'd do the real one. I have to be the movie. I can't remember. Did they actually show the real one in the movie, or was that just like a fake one they built? Either way, I'd live in that. I live in one, the replica. It doesn't matter to me. Awesome. What about you, sweetie?
Let's see.
Any movie house you'd live in? And he didn't specify horror, so I guess you could be any movie.
Okay. That's what I think. The Sound of Music house.
You're in this big Sound of Music. Like she's hinting around Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah, that
I like
one.
say I was gonna bring it to you after you see you're gonna cut off that girl's face and wear it. You think you're a redneck psychopath?
That or one of the Pretty Little Liars houses.
Which one?
Spencer's.
Spencer, she does have a nice house.
Yeah, they have steamer in the bed in the house.
As long as they don't lock you in there, you'll be fine.
Hey, we'll lock you in there.
A will lock you in there. Next, would you rather bite off one of your own fingers, and I guess he said it didn't matter which one, or peel off a 6 by 6 inch square inch of flesh off yourself? And he said it could be anywhere you want it to be.
Did you fart?
I did not fart. I normally will own it if I do. I honestly did not. I farted on the show before. Doesn't bother me. Not embarrassed by it at all. Did not fart this time though. Was it you?
No.
You trying to blame me?
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's
Horrible.
You.
That's why I say ain't leave that Sound of Music. Back to the question at hand. Bite off a finger or skin off a piece of a 6 by 6 square inch slice of flesh. What are you going for, sweetie? Bite your own finger off or slice off a huge chunk of skin?
My finger off.
You're gonna bite your finger off? No, it's not at the end. You're biting off. You're biting the digit off. It's gone. You're gonna still bite your finger off?
Bite my finger off.
Oh, I just feel like that'd be a lot of fucking work. Like, think about actually trying to bite someone's finger off. That's not just. I mean, you gotta like get in there where you can get the cartilage, not just the bone. For one. And like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would break a tooth in the process or some shit. Like, it's a lot harder than you think. Yeah, I know. I gotta go with the skin. I'm a chunky fucker. I will probably, and it would suck. I'm not saying this is like a walk in a park, but I feel like the 6 by 6 is kind of a good fucking. What was that like that? So, like this much, maybe more. Yeah. Now you didn't suppose I had to do it myself. I can have someone do it for me, so I'd do it. I'd have someone do it off my back. I'm gonna get fucking tore up before I'm probably just gonna like fucking morphine just go to sleep and then do it to me there. I'll go that route. So yeah, I'm going to skin. What? Yeah, he asked us, what is one of our favorite memories from our childhood? And I had a really good childhood. Like I can't really I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of good memories. The first one that came to mind as soon as I read the question, I read the question, and then one is entered my head right there, and that's one I'm going to throw out there, is when I was younger, I have an uncle who taught me how to play chess. And literally, we would spend, and I'm talking hours, fucking playing chess, and he had he had it at the kitchen table, and we would play there, and then he had a TV he had set up there, and just we watch movies. He always had like old music videos that he taped off MTV, and there's another station that played music videos back in the day, Night Tracks or something like that. And anyways, station name the show. Anyway, but he would play this music, like random music videos is on there, and literally I remember like I'd stay there like on the weekends, and I remember he like as like it's like 4 a.m. and he'd be like maybe you should get to bed because you got school on Monday. Like I'll go back to my house Sunday night. And he's like, and I'm like, no, finish your game, and we'd play for fucking hours. So I guess that's probably one of my, that's one of my favorite memories right there. Just late nights playing chess with my uncle, watching random horror movies or whatever to be on. So, what about you, sweetie? What's a good memory from your childhood?
Okay, me, my brother, my sister, my dad. It was like a long time ago, and we played a Ouija board.
Oh, contact anybody?
I don't remember.
No. So you remember that?
So we did. So after we played with it, we threw it in the trash. The next morning, it came back on the table.
Holy shit! Anything happened after that?
I don't remember. Oh, my dad burnt it.
Did it came back?
Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit on that last part. Calling bullshit. All right, and finally he asks, what is our favorite real-life serial killer? Do you have a favorite real-life serial killer?
Killer.
I left her a box set that was a special, I guess. I don't think it was like a TV special, like it was just like a made-for box set. But it's called American Serial Killers. And she didn't she watched like one episode, and she was like, I'm done. What was that one episode?
Would A be?
Real life, sweetie. Real life serial killer. A is a fictional character. Yeah. And not really a serial killer. I did kill that one dude in the Bell Clock Tower. Anyways, yeah. I'm trying to think of the ones you would know. Jack the Ripper, maybe? H.H. Holmes. That's all you got to on that DVD. I know that for a fact. You at least know about Jack the Ripper and H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
So out of those two, who's your favorite? Don't know. Alright, moving on. For me, because junior high, I went through this huge phase where I was just like researching, ridiculous like research on serial killers. Junior high and early high school. And I gotta say, my favorite one I thought was most fascinating to read about. It's unknown who this guy was, the Axeman of New Orleans. Dude, it was like, I'm like, how has this not become a movie yet? Like, a good movie, not like a straight-to-video fucking... They got like a million like these straight-to-video, like, serial killer movies, and they're all just fucking horrible. They don't even like use the facts. They're just like, he's a serial killer, and dude, I don't know, it's horrible. Anyways, I was like, man, it's just... Because the dude, like, literally just, like, he'd break in your house. I'm like, and he'd bust the door in. Like, how did they not know? And fucking axe. And he'd usually use their axe against them. Like, he'd grab their axe and fuck them up with that. Anyways, yeah, and it's believed like someone may have took over that midway through. It was like a copycat, but either way, neither one of them was ever found or whatever. There's a trillion different like theories. I recommend checking it out. It actually is interesting. But yeah, for me, the Axeman of New Orleans, that's my favorite one. So thank you. I appreciate everybody dropping off the comments. We'll leave comments. Ask us anything. We just had somebody ask us about Hot Pockets, so we're game for just about anything. So you know how to do it. You can Facebook or fan friends over on Facebook. Hit us up there. moviefam7@gmail.com. Personal messages. Leave a comment down below or
video
response. And of course, you know what to do. Leave the link down below or give it to me in personal message. Either way. So, all right, let's get to some reviews, shall we? Up first, we got from 1981. Just dropped it. We got An American Werewolf in London, in which two boys are going to backpack across Europe. However,
they get attacked by a werewolf.
One is murdered, and then the other one is bitten. Of course, when they kill the werewolf, the curse is not dead, and We all know the familiar story.
Yeah, and one of the guys that lived, he healed like real fast.
Yeah. Well, he addressed the wound first, but yeah, you're right. He was healing pretty quickly. Yeah, this movie. Now, I will admit, I saw Paris first, and I still, I mean, it gets a lot of shit. I like the movie American Werewolf in Paris. I really do. However, shortly after that, when I found out that it was in fact a sequel, a name-only sequel, obviously, but still a sequel nonetheless, I went to go find the original, and my uncle had a copy. Not on, on VHS, but, you know. Watched it and just fell in love instantly. I thought that was it was fucking brilliant. Like, for me, what's great about this movie, and I mean, we already did a top 3 werewolf movies a long time ago, which I didn't do a top 3 werewolf movies this time. But my number 1 was American Werewolf in Paris, or sorry, in London. It's just, you can't say enough about this.
I like the Paris one better.
Like the Paris one better? I love this one because it's the comedy is very natural. Like the conversation like they're having as they're walking through the moors, it comes off very just almost like you follow these fuckers and they're just talking. I mean, it's just they're bullshitting about nothing, but at the same time it's funny. It's really cool. The fact that they actually do merge humor, that doesn't feel quite like I like Paris, but the humor in there feels very forced, whereas the humor comes out of this one just very naturally. To me, one of the funniest scenes in the movie is when David's in the porno theater, and of course he's confronted by his friend. Well, Jack? Was his name Jack? Is it on the back here? Is it Jack? Anyways, and they're talking, but then of course he's confronted by the other victims. But they're just all like, you should kill yourself. And dude, it's one of the fun. And then of course the porno itself, it was hilarious because there's a scene where, you know, this couple, they're screwing, and then this other guy walks in, he's like, you know, what the hell you think you're doing? You know, I told you not to do this, you know, never do this again. And the guy's like, you never told me that. He's like, not you, you twit. And he looks at the girl, and the girl's like, I don't know who you are. And he's like, oh, my bad. He just walks out. And I'm like, that's funny shit right there. Yes, I mean, it has that humor through there. I love the fact that the soundtrack, like all the songs have something to do with the moon. That's just fucking clever to me. Yes, I love the transformation scene. The transformation scene, dude, there's no fucking CGI. I'm sorry, but I heard recently there's an interview with this dude, he's a special effects artist or whatever, but he also uses a lot of CGI as well. He merges the two. He did it for Laid to Rest, and I thought the effects on that was incredible. And he made a comment, he goes, people should not be anti-CGI, it should be anti-lazy filmmaking. And I feel like whenever you see CGI that looks fucking cartoony and just horrible, that's lazy filmmaking. We recently watched the fucking Twilight movies, and they just, like, you know, the guy will run, he'll just jump, he's a werewolf already. And it just looks bad and cartoony and just ridiculous. Here, it's a mix of the awesome makeup work, which was done by Rick Baker, on top of the acting, dude, that David, what's his name, Nottington? I work with a guy who looks just like David Nottington, by the way. Like, looks exactly, he looks, and in fact, I always want to call him, like, David. His name's Tim. Like, I want to call him David. Like, I've actually called him before. I'm like, hey, David. And he just kind of walks by, and I'm like, what a dick. Oh, wait, that's not his name. Shit, forgot. Anyways, I mean, look exactly like him. It's ridiculous. No, but the transformation scene, dude, like, it's great all around. And once again, I mean, yes, it's done in different parts. There's a lot of cuts in the scene. Still yet, the scenes you see is brilliant. Like, there's not one scene on there you're just like, oh, that looks fake. No, it doesn't. It looks great. It is literally the best transformation. Like, I know a lot of people will, you know, also quote The Howling, or say that The Howling has the best. In my opinion, this is way ahead of The Howling. I do like The Howling transformation scene. And another example of how, you know, when done right, it looks great. However, you know, this takes it. Yes, there's not enough I can really say about this. It is a very familiar story. It's almost, even though it's not considered a remake of the Wolfman, the original, you know, Wolfman, it is kind of like an updated version, almost like a remake. I mean, literally it's the same type of thing, you know, dude gets bitten, and then of course he goes on that killing spree, and then it ends tragically. And that's the thing too, like I like, you know, like I don't really do love stories at all. I just don't really get into it. Even though my favorite movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, that's the exception because that's just brilliant. But I do like the love story. Like it's just like, you know, this star-crossed lovers who just happen to, you know, encounter each other. But it just turns out he's a werewolf. And my favorite scenes is at the end when the wolf, who's already on this rampage, through London is in an alleyway, and she breaks through the police, and she's just like, please turn yourself in, and there's even a look on his face for like the werewolf. He's a fully fucking werewolf at this point. There's a look for a second like he comprehends it, but the wolf part takes over, and he fucking goes for it, and then they shoot him down, and then of course you just see the naked dead body of David, and yeah, I think it's an awesome scene right there.
No, it's sad.
She thought it was sad. It's one thing she just said she didn't like about it. She said it was a really sad ending there. I
liked happy ending.
She likes happy. That's why you like Paris better, right? Because it had a happier ending. Yeah, no, this movie, I think there's any complaints, and this is a small one, I guess, because obviously it was 1981, and we already got an awesome fucking transformation, but you never really see like the werewolf fully out there. It's always like, you see like a point of view shot of it, or quick cuts of the face attacking, or the head kind of robotically moving around. And I get, that's a tiny complaint because once again, it's 1981, they didn't, limited whatever. And it's still, once again, the movie is just great all around, so, it's easy to forgive that. Another interesting little side note, and, everybody knows this already, but if you don't, it's directed by John Landis, who directed Animal House. I think it's just really cool that this dude who did, like, the Ultimate College comedy also did, the best werewolf movie of all time. It's almost like whenever, like Bob Clark, who did Porky's, which is, my favorite sex comedy of all time, but he also did, like, one of the best slashers of all time, Black Christmas. So it's just kind of neat how, comedy and horror, like, Hitchcock said, they kind of share that, same nervous, little laugh there, and I like that. Another little side thing here, I don't know anybody who's a fan of the British sitcom, The Young Ones. Rick is one of the pub dudes in here. He's one of the people. He's like the dude playing chess in the Slaughtered Lamb. And yeah, there's a little scene there, and he's in there. And once again, I'm a big Young Ones fan, so it's kind of cool. I'm like, oh shit, there's Rick. He may say like one line, but yeah, no. Overall, just fucking awesome movie. Fucking love it. Yeah. Once again, I mean, it breaks more ground, I guess, the fact that, the special effects, obviously, and then, of course, the humor. The story is very familiar. I mean, so you're not going to be like, what's going, no, it's straightforward fucking werewolf story, but it's awesome. I highly recommend this, so, boom. All right, sweetie, you got anything to add?
I liked it, I just don't like the Dave's friend. So bloody and...
He calls him Meatloaf. He calls him a Meatloaf. Remember? And at the end, like, whenever he starts to change, he's like, I didn't mean to call you a Meatloaf and everything. I like the friend. I like the fact that... And he didn't look like... He wasn't that... I didn't use that freaky. Like, the Pet Cemetery, the dude gets hit by the fucking truck in Pet Cemetery and keeps coming back. Like, that dude was scary. And he was trying to help you, too. But that dude just came off fucking scary as shit. Jack came off like very, he's like eating food and shit. And he's talking about how like he went to his own funeral and everything. I love that. Like, I thought he was hilarious as shit. Like I love that. Yeah, like I said, Paris. It basically it's almost like a remake more than a sequel because it just takes a lot of the same elements. But once again, as much as I like Paris, it wasn't as funny as this one, and it tried way too hard to be like a lot of the comedy felt forced in there. But I did like the story in Paris. But yeah. So anything else? No. You look bored, sweetie. You're going to be really bored next because you didn't even see the next movie, did you? No. Alright, so American Werewolf in London, definitely check this out. This is fucking perfection right here. Check it out. Alright, up next we got Cube 2. Hypercube. That's right. Fucking Cube 2. Alright, now, if you guys can remember back, I can't remember back, but if you guys can. Cube, when I did my review for Cube, this is just a little... how I got into watching Cube. I was just wandering around the video store one day. Came across this movie called Cube. I picked it up, read the back of it, and I was just intrigued because I love the idea that these different strangers wake up. They don't have no idea how they got there, and they were just in this giant room or whatever. And then it turns out it's like a labyrinth with traps and shit. I thought that was just brilliant. I was like, shit, yeah. I was like, that's just an awesome, concept or awesome concept. Watched the movie, fucking loved it. Thought it was awesome. So and then, after that, I remember when they had two more next to it. They had Cube 2 Hypercube, and they had like Cube 0, which is the prequel, I'm assuming. And so watched it, like, shit yeah, and then I watched Cube 2, Hypercube, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Cube 2 basically is the same thing. People wake up in... So now, it's all, the first one had multiple colors. This is just all white. And they're just trying to figure out how the hell they got there. But they found out now they're not in the cube, they're in the Hypercube. First time I watched it, I just fucking hated it. I thought this was retarded. It could have been my disappointing sequel. It literally could have made that. Like, I really was looking forward to this one, and I was just like, it's gonna be so cool, and it wasn't. The fact that, granted, they used CGI in the first one, and granted, like, the CGI in the first one isn't great. It still looked cool. Like, it didn't look bad. Like, it didn't look like, you weren't just like, oh shit. No, actually, it didn't look bad at all. Whereas in this one, that's all they used. Like, there is no practical, no, it was literally just a cartoon whatever killing everything. And I just remember going like, what the, this is fucking horrible. In this one, you find out that they are in a hypercube, and they go through, it's almost like some cubes, time goes fast, and then other ones that go slow. And it's so, there's a lot of that. I remember I didn't really care for that the first time I watched it. I was just like, what? And I don't know, there's also the fact that just, I don't know, it just lacked, in the first one, granted, the first one the acting wasn't great, it wasn't bad either. Here the acting just really is atrocious. Like, the only two that really act good in this one, I would say, is the little Asian blind girl and the main girl. They're the only two that actually, you know, do decent. Everybody else either overacts, can't act. A lot of that, like, play acting, like, you know what, you ever, like, seen, like, amateur, like, high school or grade school plays where instead of, like, talking to, you know, each other, like, you know, hey, sweetie, how's it going? It's like they're talking to the crowd, but looking at them like, hey, sweetie, how are you? You know, that kind of, it's a lot of that in this movie, too. Like, it just, it's really bad. So, I watched it while I guess, and I don't think the ending was stupid, which I will spoil the ending because this is 2002, so it's over the 10-year mark. And I thought it was just really retarded, so I was like, fuck it, this is a horrible movie. I didn't even bother with Cube Zero. Yet to see Cube Zero. Don't know if it's any good or not. So anyways, after I did Cube and jumped around, you know, started reviewing our stuff, I was like, you know what, let me hit Cube 2. Let me just see. I love doing the bad reviews. Like, I'm a fan of this, like, cause when I do a good review of a movie I actually love, I'm just like, I'm saying the same shit everybody already knows. Like, I'm like, this is awesome. Everyone's like, yes, it is awesome. I'm like, all right, we agree. Whereas with something I hate, I'm just like, I raped it. I verbally raped it, and I love doing that. However, upon watching Cube 2, Hypercube again, I guess knowing ahead of time what's going on, I guess I kind of understood the storyline a little bit more too. You know, they are more in a, they didn't come out and say like a program, but they kind of are. And I don't know, something about that kind of made the shitty CGI a little more easier to swallow. And just kind of made the whole story go by a little bit smoother for me. And you never quite, in the first one, you never quite know who built the cube or why. You know, it's almost like they're just, it's a sick game. That's how I always took it. Like, it was just like a sick, like, it's not a test. Like, who puts them, like, let's see what the human reaction. No, you're just killing them. To me, it's a game. Like, they literally just fucking throw people in there. Maybe it's a new prison, I don't know, but either way, the intention is for people to die. But it's like a game of death. Bruce Lee. So, you know, that's that. Whereas now they expanded. So instead of a physical cube, they do the hypercube. Now, I got some diagrams here. The fan loves drawing pictures. Of what the hypercube is. Okay. The first dimension, as we all know, is just like a line. I don't know if that's picking up or not. Back up. It's just a line. The first dimension. Line. Bam. That's it. That's the first dimension. But when you expand upon that, you get a square. The second dimension. Boom. But then when you branch out on that, you expand upon it, you build upon that, you get the third dimension, which we all know is the cube. Yes, I am an artist, by the way, just so you guys know. It's a perfect cube. Anyway, so there you go. There's a cube. Now, typically, bless you, sweetie. Typically, the fourth dimension would be time. Which that always kind of bugged me. Like, how is that? Like, they're like, here's the line, here's the square, here's the cube, and then time. I'm like, what? But that's what typically the fourth dimension is considered, time. But not in this movie. No, in this movie, the fourth dimension is the hypercube. Which is parallel universes and worlds upon worlds, all built like that. This is literally from the movie. I didn't like research this shit. This is literally from the movie, and I don't know. I was like, that's awesome. I didn't remember that from the last time, and then I was like, I can build that. They had another name for this. I don't know the fuck. It's like Tesseract or something like that. Either way, I'm like, fuck it, I'm building this. Or not building, I'm drawing it. So there it is. There's the Hypercube right there. The cube within a cube, and there's like multiple worlds. And in the movie, like, it's the same thing as part one. You got the one who's a smartass. You got one who's psychotic at the end, who goes on a killing spree. You got the girl. I mean, and then instead of the retarded guy in the first one, you got this blind girl instead. And then, of course, dead people and whatever. So anyways, in this one, like, after you establish that they're in this cube thing, it's the same thing. And they keep trying to find their way out. They keep seeing, like, writing on the walls. Formulas and shit. And they're trying to figure out what the hell this one number means and everything. However, one scene, after, like, the walls start closing in, and, like, these, like, bad CGI, like, ice. It look more like ice than spikes, but they're like these coming out of the wall. When the girl goes to climb out, she looks back and she sees herself in the other little room looking back out. And there's a lot of that. A lot of, like, time, like, the parallel universes that intersect each other. And characters who were killed off will come back and they're just like, who are you? And it's like they're on the journey for the first time. And I love the fact that there's one character who just loses it. And because they're all connected to this company, Izon, which is now like the main company that's like behind the cube itself and the Hypercube. They're all connected that some way. So the guy who's like a private investigator who's trying to like track down this girl, I can't remember if she actually worked for Izon. Anyways, it leads him here and he's looking, but he just snaps, right? So what happens is he kills like this one, girl, this one old woman, but then there's one guy named Jerry who's already dead. He shows up. And of course he's like, I'm glad I found you and everything. So the dude decides to kill him. Like, fuck it, I'll kill him. And he like steals his wristwatch. And then toward the end, you see the dude's like covered in blood. And he has like 3 wristwatches on. So he's just like basically killing people as they show up. The girl he's looking for, he finds her at one point. They already found her once and she was dead. They find her, he finds her again, kills her. He just goes on this crazy fucking killing spree where he's just killing people. He's like, who gives a shit? It don't even matter anymore. There'll be like another one. And I kind of liked it. Like, the more I watched it, the more I was like, I'm kind of getting, I like this one. I'm getting into it. Like, it's actually a pretty decent movie. But once again, I kind of already knew what to expect. Like, the first time, it was so cool because it was like a physical thing. This one, you don't know what it is at first. Like, at first, you think it's another physical one. And then you find out that it's almost in this other universe and it winds up, what happens is, which I thought was kind of cool, there's a scene where, it's like the 2 main girls, the Asian chick and her, and the guy who snapped on him as he's trying to come through the thing, I don't know what she stabs him with, but she like gets him in the eye or something like that, and he goes back. But when he goes back, another one just shows up on the other side, but he's older, like he's fucking old as shit, like a good 10 years older. And of course his eye's still fucked up. And she's like, what happened? He goes, you know how this place works, And apparently this dude, he goes, I've been waiting a long time for this. I'm like, this dude's been like going around for like 10 years inside the Hypercube, killing motherfuckers. And it literally, to her, it just took like a second. And I thought that was kind of a neat concept too. I really liked that whole thing. I love the way they played around with that. The one scene I didn't quite get, which I don't know, in one room, because of everything, they got lazy with the filmmaking, because like, some scene they were supposed to like you go into a room and the gravity would shift. But a couple scenes they did the shift, they just killed the camera. But it was like they're still going the same, like, I don't know, I can't explain. It seemed like they didn't really, like the actors didn't really change it. It was just like the camera's tilted, Like the camera tilt means like, the gravity's going this way now. But they're still just walking sideways like they did when they first came in. So it's just like, it didn't really change, just your camera changed. Like, I don't know if that was just a mistake or maybe I watched it wrong. Either way, they had a lot of that. One scene that's kind of weird was the dude and the girl, they find this girl in a red dress. They start banging, and And I watched this on YouTube actually. First, I watched it on YouTube. They had a full thing. I had to watch it in 2 different parts. Either way, both videos have. Because I always make sure that when I watch on YouTube, it's an uncut kind of thing. I don't want no censorship. And there's nudity right there. So you're watching on YouTube, you get the full, 3 seconds of nipple. But it's there. And anyway, but the scene like this guy, like the girl starts like, she's like, I'm in a dream, obviously. And of course the guy's like, no, you're not, blah, blah, blah. And they start banging. But they're like they go in, like up in the air and they're banging in the air. And then later on, which it's the girl shows up, and then they're just like these mummified, like almost like they're dried out, not decomposing, just fucking dried out, and they're just like stuck in that bang embrace, and they're still floating in the air, and you're like, what? In the end, you find out the number was actually a time, which I thought was kind of weird too, because I'm like, the dude's like 10 years, like what? Why did the time not, you know? Anyway, there's a certain time, I guess, for her. She finds, and of course, the thing is, you find out that the Asian girl was the guy or the girl who made the entire Hypercube. Like she had the program or designed it or whatever. Anyways, the girl at the end, like you find out, like all the realities are collapsing upon each other, and it's just going to implode. And at the end, she's in the last room, I guess the center where they're all coming back on each other, and of course, reality kind of slips away, and she just jumps into this hole. And then she winds up back in the real world, but it's like the entrance there was like this water, like this big fucking giant. It looks like CGI, but I mean, I'm guessing it had to be real water. I mean, I can't remember if she was water or not. Maybe it wasn't real water. Anyways, big CGI lake, and it's in a giant warehouse, and they just like pick her up out of the water thing. And then you find out, actually, before she jumps out, she grabs the necklace. I don't know what the hell is in it, like a little black rectangle, off of the Asian chick. Jumps in, and you find out she was actually sent to go find the Asian chick.